Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Pabs, rising VTuber and artist, and honestly, this thing with me staying on the desk that I started as a bit last time around, that was kind of funny, but honestly, I think it's really funny. I really hope that I just turn this into a thing, because like the way that a VTube studio opens up, I am positioned perfectly on here. Do you understand me? This is the most natural position for me to be in. It's like the child's pose for me. Well, no, I don't. I think the yoga child pose isn't like. I think it's supposed to be good for your back. It's supposed to extend your back, but I don't know if it's like the most natural pose. I think that like we can do this as a working stream, by the way. As we get started, we've still got quite a bit of the comic left to paint over. 10 more pages, 11 or so more pages by my count. But we're making good progress on the second one. I think like I had the right idea definitely with this page, just starting this out by. Oh, that's funny. Why's my... Hang on, folks. I'll be right back. There's a little bit of a technical difficulty that's been plaguing my system. But in the meantime, enjoy some tunes. Okay, are we cool yet? Uh-oh, I think I disconnected my camera. Hold on, this might take a little second longer. Be right back. Okay, this time's gonna be working. Alright, I've got one more trick up my sleeve. Be right back. Okay, I think that did it. Alright. And we do have full functionality over this again? Yes, we do. Yeah, sometimes, I don't know if this is because I'm using a cheapo little 10 keypad from... Well, no, I guess it's way more than 10 keys. To be honest, you could probably turn that into a miniature stream deck if you had the technical know-how and also weren't using it to stream art at the same time. But yeah, I have a little... I've talked about my setup before in terms of like how I do art. I have a tiny little number pad that I use, that I've mapped the keys to different functions in CSP. And while that's been working out super great for me so far, sometimes it does get disconnected, and I had to suffer greatly for my hubris for, I guess, not buying one of those like I don't know what's the name of those things that people shill for. Well, no, I guess that's not a kind word. I think it's called like a journey box or something like that. Yeah, something like a journey box or something, but journey box, is it called a journey box? I'll Google it some other time, but yeah, I know that they make products to do specifically that, but you can think of it as a simplified version of that, just using a separated keypad. Yeah. You know, obviously the little dedicated box thing has the advantage of, you know, not occupying your keypad, and also the fact that you can like just have it in your hand. I think that's going to be one of the big advantages, since you can just like have it there in your hand. You know, people talk a lot about how, you know, you have like these ergonomic mice, right, that look like joysticks basically, like that you grasp like this. Since that's supposed to be like a little bit easier on your wrist, since it's not like harming your ulnar No, okay, so your ulnar bone isn't twisted, which is why that's better for you, I think. Pretty sure that's how that works. Yeah, I've been meaning to get back into exercising, not just because, obviously being muscular is fun for me, because it is. Don't get me wrong, being muscular is really fun, but also because it can, help prevent injury. If you do back exercises, you're less likely to suffer from, back damage. If you live a rather sedentary lifestyle, as I do. Could I do this? No, that won't work. Okay. I think the thing to do is to do it like this. It doesn't even need to be perfectly accurate, since I can just, for some of these other areas, it's easier to paint in anyways. So, if we have a little issue like this, then it's easy to correct. We just go bam, bam, bam. And our problem is solved. Yeah, right here, for example, this is like one of those things that it's like a downside to using vector lines is that it creates these, unless you're being super meticulous about it, sometimes it creates these like little overlapping joints, which are very difficult to kind of unsee once you see them. Not even in a way that's like, oh no, this is going to bother me forever, but like more in a way of, oh man, actually no, I think it is just going to be me bothered by them if I know of them. Also, it's really unfortunate, but I don't even like that brown for the wood flooring. Also, I'm gonna have to do it again over here. Might as well see it the whole way through, and then we'll figure it out. Oh shoot, no, hang on. You know what else I should have done? Let me just select the color gamut on this real quick. I should have also applied it to the background layer rather than the front layer directly. Although, in retrospect, applying it to the front layer first did actually help me a little bit too. Oh, that's weird. Oh, it's from the other layer, I see. Here we go. Anyway, now that we have it here, we can just apply it to the other side, and then we'll color correct as necessary. At least over here, it's nice and simple, since the area that we have to cover is a lot smaller. Yeah. Yeah, today has been very uneventful, mainly because I've been basically having another day of work. I've been doing a little bit of training for my workplace, and while it hasn't been too uneventful, I think I've figured out a trick to make it easier for myself to set up streams during this. So after I wrapped up training for the day, I started reading a new webcomic on my phone, and I learned that if I have like an alarm that literally says like, "Hey, it's like, it's like 6:20," when it's like 6:10, I'll look at the 6:20 first rather than the actual time. I'll be like, "Oh my god, it's 6:20. I need to get ready," and then and that'll just work out for me. And it's a very childish trick, but it's one that I remember doing a lot as a kid, because it is one that I remember doing a lot as a kid too. Like, I was like, okay, man, I really gotta I want to be super punctual, so I'm just gonna set all my clocks like 10 minutes fast, because that's a normal thing for people to do. I wasn't wrong, though. It did make me very punctual. All right, so my idea is that we can either, I don't know which color would be best to give these floors, because whatever color we choose, we're going to need to apply to the rest of the thing too. So with that in mind, I'm going to give them like a darker blue. Or actually, no, hang on. This kind of like lighter blue is interesting to me. No, see, that's too saturated. If it's that saturated, it jumps up against the background a little too much. We need to desaturate a little bit, but maybe retain that kind of same vibrancy. No, wait, that's kind of impossible, isn't it? Saturation and vibrancy are kind of similar in terms of like what you want to accomplish with them. Also, I just took off my jacket and it's too cold again. The thing is, right? I like wearing tank tops, but it's a little too cold for those still. But if I wear a jacket, it'll get too hot. So I'm forced to wear like some kind of a. I, you know how like in anime sometimes characters will like wear jackets on their shoulders rather than like putting their arms through them. I have to wear it like that just so I don't get too hot. That being said, I also need to figure out a color palette for the ground here, for the carpet here, I mean. What would be good? I think like a desaturated yellow. It might be best to do this on a separate layer and then just figure, do this with a coherent color scheme in a separate layer and then try out some different shading modifications we can do to it. And for the inside, we can have it to be like a kind of quote-unquote orange. Okay. And then just whoosh it together like that. And now we're going to do a little bit of sorcery and trickery with the, what do you call the color mapping, gradient mapping. That's really vibrant, but it's also like completely against the color, the color scheme. Or I mean, let's keep shopping around. I have an idea for what we can do for that one, but it's not knocking my socks out of the park like immediately, you know. Okay. I haven't found a better idea than what I want to do with this one at least, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. That's not really working out. Let's try something else then. Maybe something like that? Yes, question mark? I'll have to think about it. I think the main thing for now is that we continue the shading on the characters, and then we'll figure out a little bit more about the background. Because the worst comes to worst, we can also apply color gradient to the background as well. I'd like to do that kind of like dark pitch on it, but the problem is that that will be a little bit confusing with the other black pitch right here. So it does need to be a darker blue. But it can't be like too vibrant compared to the other one. Okay, I think that's dark enough that it's not exactly that kind of dark, but it's recognizably different enough. I mean, then we might as well just make it the same black, right? I'm not sure why I'm overthinking this. The apron's going to be what matters a lot more then. Since the apron's like pure white like this, it's actually a little bit difficult to see what I'm coloring in. Whoop. I can. It's like a carpet trying to be a main character. Yeah, no, it's true. Like it's like the if I had made the carpet too bright, it would have stood out too much. It'll eventually make it look like the. Is the focal point of this going to have to be the carpet then? I've heard about people being a doormat, but I've never heard of a doormat as a character. Let's see. The most annoying thing about this is that I'm going to need to keep the, the black and white version of it open too. Because sometimes I see little mistakes like this that I'll be like, dang, I gotta patch that up. Rim shot. Like right here. Does that mean there's also... No, that one wouldn't show up. But yeah, right here. While we're at it, let's also fix the little error here. And the other one, we worked around it by erasing it, but in this one, I think we can thicken it a little bit instead. Thicken it like a sauce. Do you prefer to work in black and white or other monochrome or in color? Weirdly enough, I think one of my favorite styles to work in is actually a little bit of both. So the way that I remember one art fight I did this as well, like for like all the drawings basically, is that I would draw a character in monochrome and I would shade it in monochrome, but I would then add like one big standout color to them to really influence it. I think I had something like that. Hang on. I don't remember where I put it, but I remember putting it in like the... Hang on. Where is it? In here? Nope. Yeah, a pop of color for drama. Maybe I can find it actually. Hang on. I remember giving it a pretty good caption. Yeah, this one. I'm glad I'm very predictable when it comes to naming things. Yeah, so like this. I remember I used to do stuff like this a lot. Oh god, it even has my old logo on it. I can't believe I used to call myself something other than Pabs. But then again, Pabs was only a name that I thought about once I reached university. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I feel like I don't know if it's like some kind of remnant instinct from like what I grew up with. Life's about trying on different hats. That's true. Yeah. What is important is that I'm here now as well. You know that and that old logo wasn't who I'm always going to be, and hell, Pabs might not be who I'm always going to be either. But you know, it did its job well. It gave me an identity while I still needed one. So for that much, I should be grateful to it. Let's see. I feel like I need to make the color of this slightly darker. Mainly because since it's like up to like next to all that shadow and everything. Hmm. I should probably finish it up first and then worry about what it's going to look like. Then over here. This is kind of fun. It's like doing a polka dot pattern. I also need to remember that the light source is coming from this direction. I think that might have also been what's bothering me. Yeah, yeah. I think that might have been what was bothering me after all. Am I on the right layer? Yes, I am. Then over here. God, I saw that the 2.0 update for Clip Studio Paint has like this thing that if you show it like where the light source is supposed to be coming from and where the and like which line art layer to reference, it can calculate a like a essentially it like helps shade your picture. It doesn't seem to be AI powered either, which is like what I was wary of, but it doesn't seem to be that way. It really seems like a win-win, and I would really appreciate it in a situation like this, if only to have a reference. Seriously, the more overpowered this AI stuff gets, the more I like get into like that Dune ass mindset of like, it's good, it's well and good that the machine should be able to like calculate for us, but they should never be allowed to think for us. Yeah, of course, the fact that it's not AI based does mean that it'll be less accurate, but that's fine for my purposes. I just want to get a handle on like which way it needs to go. Hmm. Let's see, then over here. No, that needs to be a little bit smaller. There we go. That should push it back a little bit. There we go. But yeah, the more I... Actually, should this part even have that kind of shading? It does look a little bit more natural without it. Okay, here's what I'll do. Wherever the frills are casting a little bit of shadow, I'll also add a little bit of shadow. Just a few chicken scratches like this. What the? Why isn't it erasing this part? Oh, it's because I... Wait, what? Oh man, that's where it came from. Okay, hang on. I accidentally drew it on like the line art layer. Which is weird because I feel like I would have remembered doing that. And over here. Okay, kind of like that. Then over here. Oh man, all these frills are gonna really kick my ass when I have to eat them. I forgot how difficult it was to, since the mates got destroyed on a later in a later page. I forgot how difficult to draw some of these frills were, and it's gonna be just as hard shading them. But by God, I will finish coloring these pages before April 1st, even if I have to lose sleep and cough up blood. Actually, I don't know how I do that second part. It's gonna be tough, yeah, but it's not gonna be like cough up blood kind of tough. If you start coughing up blood while you're drawing, I think you might just have that might just be a you problem. That might legit be a skill issue. I don't think you'd even qualify that as a skill issue, actually. Okay, then over here. There we go. Ooh, actually, that looks very dramatic as well. Hang on, we might be cooking something here. Hmm. No, never mind. Hang on, we lost it. No, wait. I think I might have a way to get it back. I feel like a lot of this is also me doing being on both frames of that like I don't know if it was like a Gundam one actually. I remember there was an anime where like one dude was like going like I'm a genius, and then like immediately the next frame is that he's like getting his like he's getting turned flipped upside down in his cockpit, and it's like oh no. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, posture check. Thank you. I will now stand up. I think that's a solid 10% straighter than I was sitting up before. And hydrate. Thank you. All right, let me drink. Let me drag out Rice Beast while we're at it. I swear, one day I'll learn Mix It Up, and then it's gonna be. I'll never have to do this little menu opening thing again. With the way that my because I'm in a power stance within my new model, it looks like I'm putting my arm around Rice Beast a little bit, carrying the poor little thing. Hmm. Talking him close to my bosom. Yes. Okay, so I think the issue is this like little connecting bit here. Then there. Ooh, actually, hang on. What if we made this like one shade darker? Yeah, okay. Hmm. We need to find like a halfway point for these two. Little bit darker. Little less saturated. Little more saturated. Maybe I need to go in like the opposite direction. Like maybe I need to go more yellow. All right. I'm going to try to do something real quick. I'm going to add another, what do you call it? Tone correction gradient map. Because actually, come to think of it, these should have like kind of like, what do you call, pinkish vibes on account of the fact that it's got like that like magenta red. That's just red. That's just like magenta, I think. Kind of color scheme to it. I missed a bit there. Ooh, this blue is actually really striking too, though. Let me keep shopping around a little. Might find something really good. Oh, actually, that gives me an idea too. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, I think this is kind of what I wanted. Okay. What are these? No, you know what? Actually, I think this messes up the flow a little bit of it. I think going back to the blue would have been better. Since I think the rule we've established so far is like the red parts are going to be the kind of more warmer tones are going to be the focal points of it. I think then it's a good idea to try using the blues. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think this is definitely the right idea. I wonder if there's any way we can apply it. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. I'm almost wondering if this one's like too bright of a blue. Because, it's good to have like bright colors, but I think like this might be a little too neon. No, that's a coward's answer. Like I do like my neon, but I do also have to wonder about like what it'll look like. Okay, here's an idea actually. All right, view. All right, what's it like? Okay, so view, color profile, preview. We're gonna use CMYK US sheeted. Okay. So yeah, okay. Yeah. Let's see. Screen color pro. Yeah, I think this one's gonna be the best choice. Or actually, those look pretty much identical, right? Hang on. So to explain what I'm doing right here, I'm using this thing I'm using this thing that lets me preview what the hang on preview what it would look like if I'm printing it, right? Okay, sheet fed coded 2. Yeah, see, so like you can see how the colors change a little bit. That's because like, not to summarize a what could be a very in-depth topic, the colors that our screens produce aren't what the same colors that, printing machines can produce. They're a little bit different. They're a little bit more limited, the printing machines, because of the fact that, when you print something, so when you have something on the monitor, it's so like the light spectrum itself, right? The various machines are lying to me. Yeah. You can also, I suppose you can also think of it in that way. Rather than the machines lying to you, it's more like light is lying to you. So you see, because when you print something, light can only bounce off it in. So when you print something, light is bouncing off of it, and that's how you perceive it, right? That's just what sight is. It's the ability of our eyeballs to perceive what, like, the light bouncing off of stuff. But when you have it on a screen, it's a different story, because that's no longer light bouncing off of something. That, well, no, it is still, like, it's still being fed to your eyes. So it's still, but it's not like bouncing off of anything. It's just a direct combination of light. Hmm. It's a very annoying little thing that happens, and but I think we have been making some, like, advances in printing technology. But so far we still can't print technically like hot pink. That's one of the limitations of the technology. Yeah, whenever I get into like the logistics of actually printing a comic, my head tries to unglue itself. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Sometimes when you realize there's like a difference between like your brain when it's willing to learn something and your brain when it's not willing to learn something, and that not willing to not willing to learn something phase can be caused by either you legit not wanting to learn it, or you just like not vibing with the idea, or like you just basically convincing yourself you're never going to learn it or need it. And when I hear about like the finer points of like printing, like no matter how much I convince myself that it's important, and no matter how much I understand how important it is to have a good solid grasp of that if I want to continue making and printing comics, my head just kind of like blanks out. It's like, and wants to be like, okay, so hurry up and tell me the answer. Maybe it's one of those things that I'll never appreciate until I properly print something myself. Okay, it's gotten cold enough that I can now properly put on my jacket. My anime jacket wearing days are behind me now. Wearing your jacket over your shoulders like an anime character is a young man's game. Let's see. I don't know how they get the jackets to stay on the shoulders. I mean, I have pretty broad shoulders because I tried that and mine kept sliding off. Yeah, I think part of it is just like getting like the necessarily broad enough shoulders, because they have to be pretty broad. I had like a punching bag workout routine when I was like 17, so I still have like the shoulders from that. So I can do it with impunity. Yeah, another choice but to hit the gym. Do it for the cool anime fashion. I don't know. I don't remember where I first saw people wear it like that. I think it was in like One Piece that I first people saw people wearing their jackets like that. I think at one point I had a duffel coat that, because I was little bit of a chubby kid, I couldn't really close all the way properly. So I ended up, to wear it more comfortably. I used to end up wearing it like with like the two buttons done up and the end of like the bottom buttons done down or not done up, and it looked very silly, but at least I was comfortable. One time, my brother roasted me for it though, and he was like, "Why are you wearing it like that? Like that cannot be comfortable for you." It wasn't even roasting me; it was more like just genuine concern for the way I was wearing it. Like I've been on the business end of like sibling roast, and that was like a genuine concern one. Yeah, I will say though, there is nothing more defeating than buying a very cool shirt or what have you that you really like, but it's like one or two sizes too big, so you can really only wear it as like PJs or something. That is like straight up disheartening. Hmm. Then like this, no. Then over here, honestly, this doesn't look too bad, but I like having that extra like level of detail here. Oh, I actually quite like that one though. This one is quality stuff. Mm, mm, no. Maybe like if it's really thin, I can manage it, but if it's much bigger than that, yeah, it definitely loses effect. I think it's good as it is now. Oh wait, maybe what I can do then is I can use the push tool a little bit to my advantage. No. Anyway, we've got some other stuff we can do now. First of all, since the yellow is very difficult to distinguish from the white, I should go back and check over some of these areas up here to make sure that I haven't accidentally missed a spot anywhere. Over here and over here too. Okay, cool. I wonder if we can use that same shading for like maybe the head up here. That'll look weird. I think that looks fine, actually. It'll also save me some trouble of like it's all shaded using the same color. It's a win-win. There we go. No. It's probably not a good idea to do that, though. There we go. We'd also have to do a little bit of work on the maid's face as well. And on the name tag. Here we go. Then... Oh, right. We should also do a little bit of work on the metal here. And on the sleeves and everything. Like that. Then right here. Okay. Oh, that's weird. Thought I already applied the convert brightness to opacity thing. Okay, so for the teeth, I'm thinking of doing like a lighter blue as well for the teeth. I think the maids in general are just going to be shaded blue. Okay, and then... Ooh, that was a good touch. All right. Then next up a little bit for the face, too. Yeah, I think that helps to add to the menacing a little bit. No, that's fine. Then I think the next thing to do would actually be to add a little something to the background here to make the sword stand out more. I've got an idea for how to do that, though. Okay, that's probably not going to work. Maybe something like this? No, it'd have to be, like, redder. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, here's an idea. Yeah, okay. Before we do that, though, we gotta fill in a few of these holes. Yeah, okay, that looks sick. I wonder if there's no way... I wonder if there is a way that I can, like... Hang on. First of all, let me rasterize this real quick. Then we can do a little bit of color work to make sure that it's applying... It's, like, more readable that it's a blade. But it's all yellow like that. It makes it look like a torch a little bit. I think another way we can make this more powerful is if I go in to select a blade here. Shrink that. Fill that with white. Let me shrink that a little bit more, though. There we go. And then I'm going to select this part here again. Okay, filter, Gaussian blur a lot. A little bit more than that, probably. Brighten and saturate that. Come on, give me something stronger than that. Any vivid light? Hmm. Maybe I didn't apply enough Gaussian blur to it. Or don't tell me that I selected the wrong thing. I might have. Let's see, increase the saturation a little more if that's even possible. I don't know, how can we make this look brighter? It's a little difficult since everything's already super saturated as is. Then again, whose fault is that? I got no one to blame for myself for being too addicted to saturated colors. But I can't help it, they're so shiny. Oh, hang on. Okay. Nope, never mind. Because the idea is that I want something like this light and this bright looking. But maybe... Yeah, because this just makes it look too much like it's just a normal blade. Maybe if we put this one beneath the color? Yeah, that might work. That might work, actually. Hang on. Oh, oops. Looks like I forgot to ungrab the lasers from here, too. But actually, that looks pretty good, too. Hmm. Still, though, this is kind of a pickle. Well, I'll figure it out or I won't. Okay. Gonna need to be very careful here so I don't go over the border. Gonna sneeze. Phew. Anyway, where was I? Let's see. Okay. Anyway, on the matter of making sure that this part here in the middle has something, I think the best idea would be to make a smaller version of it right around here. Make that even brighter. Yeah, there we go. Although, could use a little bit of fine-tuning. Just a touch. And actually, hang on, I've got an idea. Somehow I feel like it'll look more natural if we have, like, multiple of them. Yeah? Hmm. It certainly looks striking, though, which is what I was going for, at least, so I think that's fine. And actually, while we're at it, we could just add a little bit of that everywhere. Hmm. We missed a spot here. Okay, I'm going to call this one second forward line plus background. And that way, wherever this would land, I will have to add just a little bit of this glow effect. This one needs to be a little bit bigger. There we go. No, that one doesn't work. Also, this one needs to be the same color as this, because it's a jetpack. There we go. In the meantime, this can actually extend a little bit further. There we go. Now that I'm looking at it, though, didn't I overdo it a little? Hmm. Well, overdoing it a little is fine. I tuned it down a little bit, though. That being said, where the hell did I put this part here? Oh, there it is. I I swear I gave this thing a different name. I don't remember doing this part either, though. I guess it must have happened when I tried to do it to this. Is it okay for me to be this forgetful? Well, if it's important, I won't forget it at least. Probably. There's no way I would, right? Better not think about that question too hard. I'm sure you can fix it if you make a mistake. That's true. Yeah, that's the flip side of it. You know, even if it's important, you won't forget it. But that's also the corollary that if you make a mistake anyway, you can probably fix it. There's no place that says that you can't. Yeah. I'm honestly very jealous of people who can remember others like names and faces easily. I think this is one of my favorite things about digital art. It's forgiving. True that. Not completely. Yeah, no. Sometimes if you do beef it with digital art, that's it for good. But most of the time, you can probably find a workaround. That being said, oh, that's where it's coming from. A little bit of cleanup on this layer. I also want to try and make this a different color. Hmm. Yeah, I think something throwing more towards purple is better. Hmm. Is that a phrase? Throwing more towards this or that? I don't imagine it is, but if it isn't, then because like I'm deriving it from like the Spanish way of saying like it's leaning more towards this or that. I don't know if that's like yeah, I guess the direct translation would be like lean towards this or that. Yeah, in Spanish it'd be like tirando más a esto o a eso. That being said, it sounds good. Yeah, that's fair. You just gotta not worry about stuff sometimes. There's a time and place to panic like you mean it, but that doesn't have to be every time. That's become one of my favorite phrases. Panic like you mean it. Sometimes you do gotta like let yourself have a little bit of a freak out in order to continue functioning properly. We should mess with English as much as possible. Yeah. Like, let's be honest, Shakespeare seemed to have a pretty funky time with it, and look what he's accomplished. I'm not saying I could be the next Shakespeare, but I'm certain I could achieve something with it. That reminds me that there's apparently a Panic Like You Mean It. Love that. Only just heard it, but I want to incorporate it into my vocabulary. Yeah. Then over here. Here we go. Then over here. Nah, this part's fine. Although, maybe I should just darken this bit a little bit. I think the issue is that we have this like light bit of the dress here. I should just like wipe that one out. There we go. Yeah. That's the ticket. That's what we needed. There we go. Yeah, okay. We had to make the lighting a little bit more dramatic, but it's not like it isn't dramatic enough in some places. That being said, we should also try and do something similarly. What do you call like similarly dramatic? I guess for that. Right, I need to open up page 1 to do that. I wonder if there's a way to set the color to the preview that we asked for. I don't think there's anything else to change here. Other than maybe seeing like what would this look like? I actually like having a little bit of extra shadow here and here. You know, having that extra shadow is helpful. And also maybe, just to be thorough, just adding a little bit here that we also added in the other one. Okay. Wait, no, I've got an idea. We go for a 2-step approach. No, 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 no. That's not going to work. Hmm. I remembered a neat trick the other day that you can usually, you know, light sources are difficult to figure out if they're not like if it's a complicated scene like this. But one of the ways that I remembered somebody suggesting to tackle it is that you kind of need to figure out where the light, you know, you kind of take on the perspective of the light source, right? So like if I was a chainsaw sword right here, and I wanted to hit the skin over here, if I was in that perspective, just how much of the skin could I hit? And that would kind of range to around, I want to say like this much, about that much. It's little tips like that that help you like find your footing a lot, or at the very least, they simplify the process. Where the hell did this come from? I found a little bit, a little bit of lint just rolled onto my drawing tablet, and I don't know, and I don't remember putting it there. Well, actually, you don't put lint anywhere; it just kind of naturally forms. But I don't know. I don't think it's been long enough that dust bunnies could form on my drawing tablet. I was at this just last Wednesday. Okay, like that. How's that looking? Yeah, that's pretty good. Put this over here. I missed a spot. I missed a spot, and if I don't fill it right now, that's going to bug me forever. There we go. I swear, it's like I see it whenever I'm coloring and I see that like I missed a little bit of somewhere I'm supposed to color. It's like I start seeing red. Bull moment, yeah. Yeah, so infuriated by the missing spots. Yeah, that's a real reason. That's a real reason that bulls get so angry. It's not because they see red. It's because they see that there's a little bit of the cape that's like not been properly colored in, and then they just lose it. It makes them so mad. I remember seeing another day that somebody made like a Tumblr post of like this version of the running of the Bulls festival where instead of using bulls, they used a giant like rolling foam ball. And I think that would be really enriching for me, just personally, running from one of those things. Obviously, I would get crushed, but like I think it would be very enriching for me to have a moment like that. It's been a good minute since I've had to fear for my life. We should get trapped in a maze together one of these days. Sure thing, dude. I think that, like, the thing is, right? You can often fear for your life, but it will be for like like it'll be more like fear for your well-being, right? You don't generally fear for your life. And while it's not like healthy to have it done frequently. I do think it would be enriching for me to experience it a little bit at this moment. Well, not right now. Right now, I'm a little occupied running stream, but like, you know, sometime soon. Dudes who are strong should be able to render public service by doing like an anime style curb stomp beatdown to people if they ask for it. Yeah, just got a little bit of the old blood pumping. I feel like it's been a good minute since I've had my ass handed to me, and while that usually means that I've gotten stronger, it also means that I'm a little bit off my rhythm. I'm the kind of guy who's more comfortable moving when he doesn't have the upper hand. Let's see. No, this part should also be purple, probably. Let's see. And over here. Then after that, well, after that, I think I'm going to take a quick drink of water. Oh yeah. The other day, right? Have you ever seen those posts that say like, "Oh, hey, if you got trapped in..." Okay, so I think the setup to it was, I think if you got okay, so let's say that the last TV series and the last video game you played, the last TV series you watched and the last video game you played had like a collaboration. What would that look like? And it was the funniest thing because the last TV series I watched at that moment, the latest episode I'd watched of anything was actually the build episode that we had in V's server. And the most recent video game that I'd played was that New Blood game of Medieval. Which, to give you an idea of how Medieval works, is imagine if you're playing Doom, but instead of guns, you have like magical weapons that shoot out projectiles. It's quite a good bit of fun. I'm enjoying a Medieval so far. I'm like, man, that would actually rock. But the thing is that like, there's no way. Yeah, it does sound pretty sick. Like, but the thing is, in that context, you absolutely would need to make Banjo the one who's the playable character because I think for Sento, it would be like nightmare scenario. Having to just like fight hundreds of people like that using Common Rider. But I think for Banjo, I think for Banjo it'd be like enrichment for him. He would love it in there. Let's see. Like a batting cage, exactly. He'd just be hitting dudes left and right and find it relaxing. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. Like Banjo, I keep forgetting. I almost pronounce him like banjo, like the instrument. That's probably not how it's supposed to be pronounced. It's probably like banjo, but he would love it in there. He'd be thrilled if he was in like a video game type scenario. That reminds me of that. Of apparently, there's like a Baki spin-off manga where Retsu, the resident kung fu expert, gets sent to like an isekai fantasy world and just uses kung fu to defeat everything there. And while on, I feel like I need to go seek out that one actually because I feel like it would be right up my alley. Like it's not so much of a fish out of water as it is like a duck to water, or like, okay, what would be a good one? Like a cowboy in the winter. Like conceivably, they shouldn't have any advantages, but like somehow they just survive it. No, none regardless. Man, I've stopped reading Baki. I don't remember. I've talked about Baki before, but I don't remember when I stopped reading Baki. But I do know that Dopo Orochi is the guy of all time. Like he is everything. He like he runs like a nationwide karate dojo chain that is famous for him specifically. He managed to gather like 600 dudes to fight one guy in an amusement park. He his first reaction to meeting Baki was to try and punch him in the face. He once literally pulverized an entire concrete tube. Just the guy of all time, honestly. He frequently gives piggyback rides to one of the most dangerous men in Japan. That if he's not like straight up bridal carrying him. Well, no, he one of the most influential underworld figures in Japan. Like Dopo Orochi is everything. He God. Baki has a lot of dudes where Baki is very good at having like dudes who are just guys, but are also the most insane fucking guys ever. I don't know how to put this. Like every single martial artist in Baki is completely unwell, but otherwise they're just like very normal guys. Yeah, guys into a niche. That niche usually being beating the living daylights out of each other. At least when they're not fighting Yujiro Hanma. That guy beats the living daylights out of everybody, no matter what. God. Okay, I'm going to need to figure out how to make this one a little bit lighter. There we go. There we go. Then after that, okay. Okay, yeah, this part here shouldn't be here. Wait, what the? Oh, I see what happened. Okay, hang on. What a mess. There we go. Good as new. Or actually, I guess the last version would have been good as new. This is just fixed. Okay. So now we can move on to coloring the straps here. Okay, right here. There we go. Then after that, the helmet. I keep saying this again and again, but it is really wacky how the way that I'm shading the helmet means that it's going to have more shadows in it than it did in the blank version. Okay. All those nooks and crannies to bounce light off of. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that is one of my strengths as a character designer is that I never go for like designs that are like way too complicated because in my mind, growing up, I like to put out way more drawings than I wanted to than like I was the kind of kid who wanted to do like 300 drawings in a day rather than like one really cool drawing in a week. And that's still more or less the case. I still haven't changed a bit from that time. I still enjoy drawing things in like one go on a stream or something than like, you know, deliberately and slowly taking my time on it over multiple streams. I'm trying to get better about that because it does put out better quality stuff. But another consequence of that was that I ended up liking, you know, kind of gravitating towards simpler designs. Where the hell is this coming from? Oh, here it is. But yeah, that ended up with me gravitating towards, you know, less elaborate, more kind of simplified designs because I knew that I would have to, you know, draw them again and again. So I wanted to kind of make sure that I could only retain the most important parts of it. You know, they've definitely gotten a little bit more complicated, but you know, in general, if you make me like design a dude, I'll be like, okay, here's a dude. Yeah. Now I think, annoyingly enough, it is just always having that kind of balance of like churning stuff out and then like, you know, I think it is important to have that balance because I think churning stuff out faster helps you get more comfortable with a technique, but at the same time, it won't help you gain a new level of depth, if that makes sense. You know, it'll help you improve, but it won't help you like gain a better understand. No. Oh, geez, this is complicated to explain. Like, okay, so you have to put in like the time, you know, you have to do like one of those time intensive pieces to like learn a new technique and to like get out of your comfort zone. And then you have to do a one of those churn sessions if you want to kind of like solidify a technique. I think that's the best, the kind of like perspective that I have on it. You know, at the end of the day, it's still practice. You know, people talk about like how a lot of like art schools like, you know, drawing things quickly in order to like retain the gesture and everything of it. But I think like there's also a very important component to really taking your time with one piece and, you know, really trying to build it from the bottom up because a lot of the tricks that I have are kind of retroactive, if that makes sense. Like they they take what's there and improve it. You know, it's like polish. But in terms of like, you know, thinking things through and having like a strong foundation for the drawing, I'm still somewhat lacking in that. I still need to like figure that out. Like for example, like color. I don't think of color before I draw. I think of it like after I finish the line art, which is fine most of the time. Like, you know, even now it's still not really creating that big of an issue. But, you know, if I want to make something that's more refined, something that's more interesting, I'll eventually have to contend with that. I'll eventually have to figure out, okay, how do I want this drawing to look once it's finished? What can I do to make sure that that makes it look as good as possible from the bottom to the top? And, you know, like you said, there is digital art is good for that because it is a lot more forgiving. But at the same time, I can't help but wonder, like, okay, have I been pushing myself enough in this one regard? It is just like all that I can do. Is this the true limits of my power, or something like that? Are the various challenges you've done, like the emoji challenges and the sneakers, help with that, or are those more about fun? A little bit of column A and a little bit of column B, I think. They're definitely fun for me. I enjoy designing characters, but I think they definitely made me like work out some brain stuff. But I think they're again kind of more in that range of like speed, right? Because good character design can take months. All right, like it can. I remember when Raph and I were talking about choosing like Hawk's color palette, right? We were on a call for like 4 hours. And that was just for like the color palette. You know, before that it was the helmet one, which was again I think like another 4 hours. And I don't know how much time Raph spent with like whoever made the design for the rest of Hawk's clothing, but you know it must not it has to have been like a significant amount of time. Yeah, iteration upon iteration upon iteration and all that. That I think is like the essence of character design. Because like sometimes you do have like a just absolute banger on your hands, and you know that from day one, but even then you can probably still refine it in some way. Simplify it, increase the signification behind it. I think the thing is, and I do think that this might be limited to my experiences. I think what my issue, which the challenges that I did helped a lot with, is that I was lacking in consistency of drawing before. Like, particularly with like that first Inktober thing that I did, which was like the first set of streams that I ever did. I think what I lacked was, in a lot of the cases, was like consistency with my art. Not in terms of like art style necessarily, but in terms of, oh shit, what did I do? Yeah, that's great though, because the more intentionality you put into design, the more you can stay with it and let it speak about the character. And especially in visual storytelling, that's the majority of what you have to work with in terms of defining character. That's absolutely, yeah, you're on the ball with that one. Yeah. No, I like what I love about character design, and I think what I try to accomplish in my own character design is the idea of icons, right? Not in terms of like what each thing represents. So, for example, like the kind of outfit that Hawk has on, and again, this one isn't mine, but like I can think of it in terms of that. In terms of like what Hawk has on, it has the vibes of like an old airman outfit, right? Like this looks like what somebody would have like worn getting into an airplane in World War One, maybe. And I think that's like part of the intention behind it. It gives you that idea of like this is the vibe that this is going to have. It creates that idea of like a time period, or period, genre type during that time period. I don't know how to describe it. Like genre also changes throughout time periods. The cyberpunk that we knew in like the 80s, for example, has a much different vibe to the one that we know now. Well, I mean, to an extent, right? But like, genres change through the ages. Like, for example, War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. That's an example of like aliens attacking, but at the same time, you can very much see that H.G. They did actually make a version of like War of the Worlds for like the early 2000s, and I remember that movie both scared the crap out of me as a kid and also kind of sucked. But the I don't know how to describe it. Like, like for example, Silver Age or like Silver Age / Golden Age comics. Like if you see like a superhero still wearing like the underwear outside their tights, like that's a dude that's like old school superhero, right? Like they have those vibes. They have that kind of like ideal that they're trying to impart upon somebody. Me in like a buff superhero outfit is a very silly way to point to iterate this, but that's how it goes sometimes. Yeah, conventions of a genre shift as time passes by. You just know those Silver Age guys didn't have apps. Yeah, no. I think like the thing is, over time, I think at the time, I don't know how to put it. Like, I definitely feel that old comics. Hang on. So hold on. Action Comics 1. Okay, so like take a look at Superman in like the oldest version of him. Like he has abs, but they're not like like washboard type things. Like they're definitely still present, but they're not like super like suction cup defined like that. And hang on. If you look at like professional wrestlers back in the day, Like that's just kind of like what buff dudes look like. Like they still had like those abs, but like yeah, strongman types. Yeah, no. But like that's just like what strong dudes looked like to me back then. And like now it's a lot. It's also it's been split a little bit between like this dude has built like a brick shithouse, and also this dude looks like he needs to be on a Calvin Klein commercial, which I wouldn't say necessarily is like a bad thing. Like aesthetics will change over time, but honestly, I'm much more into the older one as well. I think like the reason that's so like I don't know how to put this. Like I feel like the reason that I'm just not like impressed by dudes with washboard abs is because like there's so many of them that it's like no longer like a rarity, right? Like if you keep seeing like all these dudes with washboard abs every day of your life, you're like, okay, we've seen enough of them. That's enough. What the hell is this? Where did this come from? Yeah, exactly. Oversaturation has ruined the appeal. Oh, okay, this is another thing that was in the line art, which means that it's also in this version's line art. Okay, but like, how? Why? Why are these little rascals here? Okay, they're in the deeper and they're in like one folder deeper. Ah, this must be the place. Yep. You see that, right? Like it's practically imperceptible, but it's there. I see it. I can peep it with my own eyes. But yeah, oversaturation has ruined the market. I think it's a good way of putting like a lot of the conventional. It's so faint, but I can see it. Oh, that reminds me. I don't think I fixed this part up yet either. That's also going to be a bit of a bother because if I remember correctly, this is done using the vector lines. Yep. So I guess the easier way to do this would actually be to push these guys away. Add a little something here. Put them back. Use some white. There we go. Like I said, that's also a benefit of like going back and coloring these, is that I'll notice a couple of things that might have been wrong with the original that I might not have noticed beforehand. It wouldn't have been the end of the world if I hadn't noticed that, but like, it wouldn't have been there. Or over here, too. Come to think of it, these early pages I did have to resize a couple of times, so maybe that's why that's where they showed up. Well, I guess that's how it is sometimes. The good news is that it's only taking, hopefully, and I'll be able to keep this up. I've noticed that this coloring process, once I have the colors down, only takes me about an hour, or not even not an hour, but like at least for this page, it took me just one stream. So that means I can do one in about 3 hours, which means that if I really bust my humps, I should be able to get it done by the deadline, no problem. That's my main concern about like any of this. It's just like, can I get it done before the deadline? Can I get it done before the deadline? There's not even a deadline, and I probably wouldn't have to do as much if I like. Only did like a couple of splash pages, but I wouldn't be satisfied that way, you know? Like, I want to color this. I want to finish that. I want to have it all complete. It feels like it would suck if that wasn't the case. Not like in terms of quality. I know I put good work into this, but like in terms of like just my own satisfaction with the process. Okay, then over here. Okay, two things. First, I'll need to find a. Okay, first I'll need to do a heart eraser. Congrats on getting into the anthology. I saw the announcement, but I remembered I didn't say anything. Yeah, no, thank you, thank you. I'm happy. I'm happy we were officially announced for that as well. Let's see. Maybe if I like squeeze this further up. Let's see, there we go. God, I love the liquify tool so much. It can be a mite inaccurate, but that's like what I'm here for. You know, in order to do a little bit of human correction as necessary. Over here. Perfect. Anyway, now we need to have a little bit of a darker color, like directly underneath some parts of this. So like right here. Seal that there. Okay, color this like this. Color this like that. Perfect. I should also add some highlights to the gun and the helmet. Let's see. No, it's fine like that, I think. Maybe with a slightly darker tone. Do I have a darker tone than that, actually? I don't think I do. Yeah, no, that's about as dark as it gets. Okay, I'll apply that to the jetpack, too. Or actually, for the sake of additional clearness, there we go, like that. Well, if I don't have one to reference from, I'll just make one myself. Okay, cool. Right, now for the gun. Okay, we'll have a couple of these here, a couple of these here. Perfect. Okay. This must have been on a different page. There we go. Or a different layer, I should say. If it was on an entirely different page, I'd be kind of impressed at how I had managed to accomplish that myself. Sometimes things are just like so catastrophically bad that you kind of have to wonder like how they got to that point. Like it's almost a spectacle in and of itself. Those are very rare and special moments. Oh yeah, I also need to do this to the helmet mouthpiece as well. Okay. I'll use this color for the little holes. There we go. Then for the goggles, we've got this color right here, which I will also apply to this layer over here. There we go. Oh yeah, something else I should do. Where would this one be? Nope. Oh, here? Yep. There we go. Okay, we've done a good job on this one. But there is one thing I want to try, which is my usual little trick of the gradient mapping. Or at the very least, I want to try a couple different things. Seeing it without the line art is actually really interesting because I'm just like the line art also includes the shading, right? So it's interesting to see how it looks like underneath. Come to think of it, something else that I should take care of before I do whatever the hell it is I'm planning to do. Let's probably nab this bit of the wallpaper right here. Yeah, this will be easier than trying anything else. Let me see. I guess we'd start off by deselecting everything that's not necessary. And then just reselecting what is. Haha, no arm. Yeah. Wait, did I cut off somebody's arm? No, it's fine, it's fine. And this part's protected by shading, so I should be fine. Okay. What was I gonna do? Oh, it's part of the shading? Oh. Yeah, there we go, no arm. Get Rayman, idiot. Anywho, my idea was to maybe with a purple? What was I doing? Right, okay, with the purple. Let's see if we can try it this way. Hey, I forgot that I also have a halftone dots thing. God, that actually looks really cool. I should add that as like an effect. But I'll have to think about that some other time. Is that even worth putting in there? Maybe it's like a more orangish tone. What if it's also black? Okay. What about without it? Okay, it definitely adds something. That's a good bit of texture. So I think I am just going to set that luminosity to 0 and figure it out from there. Okay, now we can start. Now we can do a little hustle. Let's see, gradient map. I really like the tones on this one, honestly. Let's keep looking around. It's good when you apply the gradient map to like the finalized version of it, because then you have a lot to work with. I do also enjoy that two of these gradient maps are basically the trans flag colors. I say that every time. I just select them, but it also brings me joy every time. It's like when you're counting something and you get to 69 or 420. You know, it's just like a little gift for you. How did that somehow turn it back to her regular colors? How did that happen? Okay, and then I think the next thing to do is to add one on top of this. I think I like the colors like that. And now I get to do my action lines. Goody goody gumdrops. I did not mean to flip this painting. Okay, I think the one other thing that I want to do is I want to kind of have a brighter tone coming in from this corner to this one. But I'm not sure how to apply that. I'm going to try and use white and see what happens. Hmm. No, that's the normal color scheme. Okay, I think I'm just gonna not do that then. Yeah, I think that's good enough for today. We finished page 2, which is I'm very excited about. Okay. Oh shoot! You know what I did forget to do though. Hang on. Okay, I'll need to remember that that's on light. Actually, I'm gonna keep that one around too. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna need to go back and actually add a little bit of shadow right here to where the door frame is. Yeah, I done goofed on that one. So I'm also going to need to turn off half of these gold darn visual effects that I added over here. Oh, there we go. Okay, that seems to be the only area that was affected, so I can keep going. Let's see. Okay, we left these two clear. Then these two. Does that make... Hold on. No, that can't be... Is that right? Did I accidentally eat one of the... Oh, no. Hang on. What happened? No, hang on. What? How is this possible? How the... Okay, now how did this happen? Well, no, I guess how this happened isn't nearly as important as what I'm going to do about it. But seriously, how did I eat up an entire thing of lines over here? I guess this technically makes my job a little bit easier, though. I just need to erase these two. It's just a weird house. Yeah, you've seen those like Zillow mansions that like have one of the floors on like not yet built. Now I got ready for ones that have like the door thresholds with different patterns, with different groove patterns midway through the door. Yeah, conversely, this one down here now has too many. Just halfway through the design, I was like, you know what? Nah, I want something different. But I'm already halfway through the store. Whatever. They pay me by the hour. Okay, there we go. Like, there's no way this is like a trick of the light. This is hurting my head to look at. Somehow it's less noticeable here. I guess because it's in black and white? Still, this is a problem. I'll figure it out or I won't. Thanks. Thank you for the vote of confidence. The good thing is that it's not hard, it's just complicated. Those are the worst kinds of problems, honestly, when it's like not difficult, but it is like complicated, because it's not like you can, it's more tedious that way, I think. You know, like you can do something, if it's hard and if it's hard and complicated, well then you're in for a bad time from day one. But if it's like easy and complicated, then that's just going to be like mentally it's going to be like a slog, because you just have to like prepare yourself to like not miss anything, but also to realize that this is not going to like really challenge your mental faculties in any way. Okay, I got an idea for how to do this. expand by 1 pixel, and then right around here, we're going to do a little bit of a downward swoop. Okay, cool. And then here, we're going to erase this line. Then over here, hang on, that's worse though. Well, not worse, but now I've got a different problem. That would be a great motto for the 2020s. Not worse, just different. That's a bit pessimistic. I shouldn't say that. There's still like an entire, what, 7 or so years for this whole thing to turn around. I don't like that. I don't like it implying that it isn't worse. All right, it could be a little better. Things could be better as well too. Yeah, how's that one phrase go? Same shit, different calendar. I don't know. I think that more applies to my own personal problems. Yeah, we do have time to turn it around. Okay, speaking of turning it around, I think we got it now. Are you perhaps trapped in a time ago? No, I'm just letting the days go by. Letting the water hold me down. Into the blue again. Man, I would whip ass in a time loop, but the thing is, like, the thing is, I always thought that I'd be built different. Yeah, same as it ever was. I always figured I'd be like built different when it came to like time loop shit, but then I quickly realized that no, I would not be built different. I am not stronger than Homura. In my humility, I have recognized this. Okay, we'll stretch this all the way down. Okay, how the fuck? I would probably take an embarrassing amount of time to notice. I mean, yeah, no. The problem is that time loops are only really noticeable if it's like a short amount of time. But to be honest, if I was like stuck in a multiple year time loop, I would straight up give up on try to, because like I could do like a week or so max of a time loop. Assuming like the weather was nice or everything, but it's like if it's like multiple years, and that's not like a time loop. That's just like a kick to the north every few years where you have to do the same thing over a couple of other times. Got a year long time loop. That is too long. It is too long. Like 1 year? Come on. Although a year does, like the thing is, right? I feel like I need to train my friends in in case of the contingency that I do have like a time loop situation, like I need to come up with a catchphrase for my friends that'll let them know, hey, I'm trapped in a time loop. Here's some things we need to know about this. I mean, for all we know, that is actually like a plot point in one of those stories that I'm writing, that they wouldn't just believe you. I feel like they probably would, but like at the same time, like it would be faster to explain it, right? Like I wouldn't want to explain the time loop thing every single time. I just like to explain it once and just do it very quickly. So if I can do that faster, then that would be ideal. They'd believe me. It would just take time to explain, and I've already done that like 16 different times at that point. But yeah, in one of my stories, it is like a plot point that one dude basically has like time loop powers, but like it just resets his entire life whenever he dies. And like he is the only one aware of it, except for like one other person who also experiences the time loop whenever he dies. She doesn't know what the hell's going on, but like the person who's being affected by the time loop has that's not the person whose life is reset, has no idea what's going on, but she's still experiencing it, and it's like horrific for her. Let's see. God, that's a horrible idea as well. Like the idea that you're in somebody else's time loop story. Yeah. Like sometimes you just randomly get trapped in time loops and you can't do anything to fix it. I had an idea for a game like that. Oh yeah? Nice. I think that would be a good kind of like asymmetrical multiplayer player idea. Like one person gets to experience a time loop, but the other ones don't. A section of a town that got stuck and everyone knew, and they were mad at the main character. God, yeah, that would be the real icing on the cake. Not only having a time loop situation, but also having a time loop situation where everybody who's been looped also knows you and hates your guts. What was that one phrase that like they're the worst kind of mad at me? But yeah, I think we're done with this page. Okay, let me see if there's anybody I can raid. Who all is streaming? I think V's still streaming as well. There's a couple of people. Let's see. Yeah, all right, let's go say hi to V. All right. I will catch you all next week. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you all later. Bye.